What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and on this video I take you behind the scenes at a look at $1 million Walmart store. This store has made well over $1 million in total sales, so you're going to get to see not only what the total amount of revenue is, as well as what's in store for this particular store in 2023, and a new product that Walmart is offering that you've got to get on. It's fire. It's going to make a huge difference on your bottom line, particularly for the holiday season. So I'm super fired up to show this to you. I hope you're fired up. Let's do this. All right, so we're here on my screen share, and I'm going to show you a behind the scenes look at a store that did nearly $1 million last year in total revenue. So we'll talk about what that means. And at the end of this video, if you stick around, I'll talk about what percentage of that was profit. So what percentage of profit is still available out there if you are drop shipping? That's the magic question, because I mean, what do these numbers really mean? But first, I just want to remind everyone that my email is below in case you want to jump on a call and discuss either doing drop shipping yourself, and I'm talking specifically on Walmart, and or having it done for you, the full-on automation method, which I like to say is the lazy man's method, but in reality it's just a passive way. So let's talk more about this store and what these numbers mean. These numbers were last year. So from January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, in total, the gross amount of money that this store made was $834,000. 648. And what does that all mean? Obviously, that's just a bunch of numbers. There is still a lot that you need to take into consideration to get the final amount that this store truly made. And we'll look at some numbers for this year, as well as talk about some of the key differences that I've seen last year compared to this year, and moving forward, what we might see with this particular store. But for starters, what are some of the additional costs associated with having this particular store that we don't see taken into consideration? Well, number one, and probably the most impactful on the store, is the cost of goods sold. And what do I mean by that? What does all that shit mean, Liz? I don't understand it. What it means is technically it's going to take you some money. Like I don't have my cap on today. A lot of people are complaining like, please brush your hair, like get that cap off. I've got the cap off, but let's just say we were selling this cap on Walmart and this cap sold for $29.99. Yeah, I don't know who would pay $29.99 for a cap with some dirty cap with some palm trees, but I certainly did. If you pay $30, this $30, if you were to have sold this cap on this store, this $30 will show up in this $834,000. Now, the thing that we're not seeing is that even though we collect that from Walmart, or Walmart collects that on our behalf, there's still expenses that went along with selling this cap. The first being the cost of the cap itself. So I'm selling it for 30. It might have cost me 10. In other words, I made $20 profit, but Walmart still charged me off that 30 a percentage of the sale. So Walmart charges 15%. That means they charge me $4.50 to sell this dirty, dungy old cap. So $4.50 from Walmart, we'll just round it for $5 for sake of this example, because I can't do math. I'm an idiot. So $30 minus the $10 that it costs us for the cap leaves $20 profit, minus the $5 it cost us to pay Walmart, leaves us with $15 in total profit. And there's potentially a couple other things that were taken into consideration. That could be the shipping that it took to get to me, which we'll say is $4. So now we're at about $11 in profit, and that's pretty much it. So out of selling this for $30, our profit was $11 total. And that's saying that maybe there was $1 in miscellaneous fees. So we'll just say $10 in total profit for this cap. However, Walmart's going to show the $834,000 because they are not deducting the cost that you pay them, and they have no idea how much you paid for this dungy old smelly baseball hat. That's exactly why we see such a large number. So when you do see videos like this and people are saying like, this is how much money was made, you don't have a reality of what their expenses were and what expenses they accrued having to make this particular sale. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. In other words, that's just kind of a breakdown so you kind of understand that a little bit more. But let's look at overall the performance of this store over the past let's look at this year to date. So last year, 834,000. This year to date, we've got January, February, March, and April. And it's at about 109,000. So we got 4 months. It's doing about 25 to 30,000 a month. Again, I'm a math idiot, so don't quote me on that. We'll just say 30K for sake of argument. It rounds up, it sounds nice. $30,000 per month. It's going significantly slower than it did last year. And so I'll talk a little bit more about why that's happening as a whole. And is that something to be concerned about? It's really not. And this is not a store that is being done for any particular client. It's a store that more or less is one of our stores. And it's a store that we use to run a lot of experiments on. So obviously, Walmart, just like any other platform, is constantly evolving. So we've got to change alongside it. And with this store, we have grown so exponentially, automating stores for other people, that we haven't really had time to expand on this. And this is kind of the store that we throw everything at, we test everything with. And sometimes when that happens, that store gets swept under the rug or put behind the shelf, and it still operates. So not a lot of sourcing's been on this store in general, and this store continues to be this test store that we throw everything at to see if it works. And if it does, then we obviously scale, most importantly on client stores. But nonetheless, this store, you'll see a tremendous pickup, even though it's only doing $30,000 a month right now. Up until about October, it'll pick up. The other thing that we're starting to execute on the store, which makes a great deal of difference on the bottom line, is because at scaling this particular revenue source at a larger scale is going to take some time and some testing, and that is WFS. So for those of you that have not heard of WFS, WFS stands for Walmart Fulfillment Service. And I might not even know what the hell that stands for. It just sounds like service. I'm making that shit up as I go along. But I'll just say what I do know about WFS. That's probably a better way to start. WFS is the equivalent of Amazon FBA, which, I do know what that means. That's fulfillment by Amazon. Yeah, it's the equivalent of that, and it basically means that you've got to buy inventory ahead of time. It's not like drop shipping, and you got to ship it into Walmart and allow Walmart to handle all the fulfillment. So it's kind of like the dummy's way to do things, which is usually the way that I am magnetized towards, because I don't like to do things the hard way. And so WFS is fairly new. It's something that is brand new on Walmart's side. It's brand new and doing it on the seller's side. So in order to scale that, it's going to take some time and it's going to take some testing. So this is our test store, because this year, I'm already skipping a year ahead. At the end of this year, the way that we're going to do things, we're going to adjust our strategy, because last year we saw a couple of issues that Amazon had with fulfilling packages. They fell behind massively. And so it creates a domino effect. And if they fall behind and we're drop shipping products available on their store to the Walmart customer, it meant some very poor metrics on a lot of our stores that we had to make up for. And 2 of those stores got suspended. So we don't want to see that this year with the stores we have. So what we are doing now to focus on expanding the Walmart model is we're going largely into WFS, which is going to be at the end of the year one of the major parts of the entire strategy. Of course, we're still going to do some drop shipping, but we're going to stick to products that have statistically stayed in stock despite higher than usual periods of volume, meaning Christmas or any holiday. So with WFS, we're going to buy the inventory ahead of time and send it in. So it's created a whole hybrid model of this Walmart superstore that is going to stand the test of time and stay open for years to come. So this hybrid model will take some testing, and that's why this store is the flagship hybrid tester store that we are currently experimenting with and trying to make sure that we can get this one going really well, so that once Christmas rolls back around, all the stores are ready to go. And again, that can be often tricky to do. So despite the fact it's doing $30,000 right now, towards the end of the year, October, November, December, you're going to see a massive increase in the amount of sales that it does do. And it's overall going to be quite profitable for the store. Now to the magic question, which I know everybody was thinking when they initially saw that 834,000 or whatever the heck it was. I already forgot. That's how crazy short-term memory my brain is. Squirrel, right? And that amount is approximately 23%. So 23% margin on 860 some thousand. There I go again, naming a different number, is approximately $191,000. So that's the total amount of profit that was made in this store in 2022. I do predict that 2023 will be quite similar, even though right now it doesn't seem too promising. But I mean, either way, let's just say it kept up going at 30K a month up until it hit October, November, December, you'll see about 100. So that's 300 plus 300 is going to be about $700,000 in total revenue. So again, you do the math, 700,000 times 23% margin, and you'll have a better understanding of what this store will make in 2023. Other than that, my email is below in case you do want to talk about how you either do this yourself and or you have our team handle it full on automation for you. And reach out to me as well as questions and comments below. I always personally answer those, and I'll see you guys next time.